Boom, hey internet. Good question here that I got from a subscriber, which is, should I sell? No refund, no exchange. So I'm gonna have two sort of elements when it comes to answering this question, maybe two different takes in terms of where you come to your answer when it comes to creating terms of sale, terms of transaction for your e-commerce shop for your clothing brand. So it's no mystery that Shopify has a big hold on really being top of the line when it comes to e-commerce and providing e-commerce solutions. There's a lot of runners up that come into that space. So if you go into the rabbit hole of all the different e-commerce carts that are, there's a lot of good competitors that stack up for what your needs might be. So I would just have you look into that. But for all intent and purposes, at a lot of companies that I work for, we work on a Shopify cart. So one of the biggest drawbacks that people talk about is maybe cost, but what you get for that cost is a lot of value. There's a lot of third-party apps that attach or make their entire focus of their company to work as a third-party function for Shopify to make that customer experience a little bit more smooth, and that is worth millions later on. So for whatever your solution is, coming up with terms of sale is going to be ultimately up to you. Having no refund and no exchange obviously is going to be the most stringent in terms of the risk being on the customer. So the way I think the default of this is Amazon. I mentioned Amazon when it comes to this topic of how you handle your terms, also with shipping, delivery, logistics, because Amazon has become the one company that everyone compares themselves to. They set the bar in terms of speed and delivery to the customer, which all customers like, but now you're looking at it on the other end where you're actually the business owner. So it might not be fair to have that comparison, but as a consumer, you have all ordered from Amazon and love the 2-day shipping or 1 day or expedited shipping. And so that's the same element that I'm gonna bring from here in terms of big companies like that, always putting the customer first and giving the best customer service and best customer experience, because obviously that pays forward. So me personally, I would not do no refund, no exchange. It's a little bit too harsh and strict. Now, when it comes to the demographic in and around streetwear, which I'm very familiar of, there's a lot of people that will try to scam you and maybe say that they didn't get their packages, and so you have to draw your lines somewhere. But for me, at my strictest, I would say maybe no refund, but definitely size exchange would be fine. That's the minimum that I would do. If I launched a brand today, if I was running a brand today for someone else, I would push for making sure we have refunds and exchanges available, and I would even go further to pay for shipping for returning sizes. So at the end, even if I'm a small company, I would think like a big company, and I would try to operate that way even if we're the fraction of the size, because we want to have the feeling of having a big company, especially when it comes to customer service. Now, will you lose dollars in the interim? You definitely could, but I think studies will show that you gain the confidence of the customer in the long run, and that's going to be worth more money at the end. So I feel even though you're a small company, you still are competing in a sense with big companies like Walmart and Amazon. So while I wouldn't go as crazy as Amazon where they're really changing and setting the bar for the customer, I go maybe a little bit lower than that, but I would give refunds and exchanges. Quick answer to this question, but wanted to give you a little bit of thought into how I come up with that answer and how I have in other companies in the past. Any more questions about this? This is very nitty-gritty for e-commerce, but any more questions along this space or anything for your fashion brand, please drop it all down below, or you can text me at this number here. It gets me directly every time. Also, if you haven't downloaded my free course pre-launch, I would have you take a look at that at the link below and my other solutions on CBA. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.